What's up, everybody? This is Astrology TV. It is Breaking the Cage. Let me get my incense lit. Helps if you don't breathe on the incense while you're trying to get it lit. Alrighty. Oh, I'm gonna set this up properly. Sorry, I couldn't quite reach it. All right, this is Breaking the Cage. It is for April 10th through the 16th. However, like I said, we are coming into an eclipse energy, and that stirs up a whole lot of stuff. Before I get into everything tonight, I want to thank you, Matt, again, Matrix Mind Media, for allowing me to do this video and put, the Astrology TV Breaking the Cage out for everybody. And my biggest goal here is that I'm always just trying to make sure I'm letting you know what the energy is that's coming in, and if it helps you and serves you in any way, then I have done my job. So I'm thankful to be able to do this. I'm thankful for Matt for allowing me to do it and being able to put it out, and I hope that it serves you and it helps you throughout your life in general. Also, please, subscribe. Matt is always looking for subscribers, and it's not just because he's looking for subscribers. He does this all out of his own pocket. So, subscribe, look at his swag shop, look, I don't know. He did say he was going to get rid of the website. I'm not positive if he did. But, I know he still did his crystals where he wraps them up and so forth. Look him up. There's always ways to support in general, and thank you all for being part of the show. With that being said, let's get back to this week and the energy in general that's coming in, because I'm speaking about this week directly, but not only, okay? And the reason why I'm saying it this way is we've had the Shaman resonance going up and down. We've had solar flares. We've had geomagnetic storms. We've had radio blackouts. We've had energy, up and down and up and down. And if you are looking for it to give you a break, if you are looking for, that give me that moment of breath to catch up, stop. You're not going to get it. I'm telling you now. I'm just telling you now. The best way of putting it is like they say, please put your please put your trays in their upright position. Put your seats in the upright position. We are getting ready for takeoff, more or less. We are in that energy. And the way Spirit just keeps giving to me is we're rolling. And we're not going to stop. This is going to continue to go on all year. And when you start looking at the energies, the way the eclipses are now set up, along with the equinoxes and the solstices, it's just thump, 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 all through the rest of this year. So this is, make sure that you're pampering yourself as the year goes. Make sure that you are taking that self-loving time as the year goes, day to day, weekly. Because you're not going to get that, okay, everything's finally caught up and I can take that break. No, it's going to keep going like a roller coaster. And it's time to buckle your seatbelts, people. I'm just giving you that freaking warning. With that being said, we did just go through that full moon. We're coming into a new moon on the 20th with an eclipse in Aries. Okay? That has a lot to do with what this energy for this week is about. Because anytime you have an eclipse, it's extra. And literally what I'm getting from Spirit is your eyes and your consciousness are being dilated. You know how like Jupiter, anything Jupiter touches, it expands upon, it amplifies. This is what's happening right now as we go through this week. But it's not just because of this week or the energies in general. However, almost every one of those planets, or many of those planets, are literally going to be traveling over fixed stars this week. So as I'll kind of, I didn't write down the fixed stars names because there's too many, and several of them I just cannot pronounce. But the energies are going to be amplified upon amplified upon amplified. And it's a smorgasbord of energy, okay, that's coming in. Not to mention, and I say this all the time, as you're getting usually in between that solstice and that equinox energy, that's when we start to see more natural disasters. Well, now that you got an actual eclipses starting to come in on top of this energy, I'm not putting out, fear. I'm not trying to put out fear, but I am being honest. You're coming into an eclipse. You're in between that energy. You have that energy being shaken so drastically that I would not be surprised if some natural disasters come up. I'm looking at earthquakes. I'm talking about earthquakes, water, hurricanes, anything, flooding in the 2 weeks coming, like right as we're coming up to this eclipse or right after. It would not be the slightest bit surprised if throughout the world you start seeing these. So I would tell you, you might want to stay away from especially the equator and the water at this time. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not trying to cause any negativity, but I know that energy is... Okay, with that being said, like I said, don't think you're going to get the time to catch your breath. You're not going to. I do have a lot of personal judgment that I'm filling in as a psychic and a medium. A lot of in which way? A lot of lacking or feeling of lacking in support within your relationships. There's relationship grief, and a lot of people are feeling like they're not being supported in this area. These are red flags for you to see right now. Like I said, your eyes and your consciousness are being dilated. Open your eyes, boom, expand. We're showing you. If you can't see it now, you ain't never gonna see it. And it's being shown to you exactly what cords to cut, where to break the things, where to stop playing that game. We're coming into that eclipse in Aries, which here's a big key here. If you look at it from an astrological perspective, Jupiter is a massive planet. You still have the sun here. Sun is a massive fire, okay? But anything Jupiter touches, it expands upon. It amplifies. It's the higher knowledge, but it's a magnification in itself. And it's connected to the higher self. And it is directly touching when you look at the viewing. It's not really touching, but when you're looking at it from a view, from an astrological perspective, it's so big that it is kind of like in the space of where we're also seeing Chiron and Eris. Eris is the one I always say is like Medusa, trouble, toil, strife. And I use her in astrology in the form of, I call her Medusa in the way of like, or vampire syndrome. Like, this is the only thing I know. I cannot let go of it. I don't want to have this, hold on one second, this bad energy anymore, but this is the only thing I know. It's like praying, please take this crystal out of my hand. I know this crystal is not good for me. I'm sorry, I don't really mean it, but I'm using it as an example. Like, I know that this energy, this thing is not good for me, and I really don't want to be part of it anymore, but could you please just pry it from my cold, dead hands, because I can't let it go. That's Medusa energy. Medusa energy is trouble, toil, strife, holding on to that resentment, holding on to that aggression, that frustration, not letting go of it, into the revenge of it, the pride of it, the betrayal of it, and just still sinking your teeth in like vampire syndrome and trying to drain every little last piece of blood out of it. Chiron is the wounded healer. He's great at pointing out the wounds on everything else. But when we have to point them out on ourselves, not so easy. Now, Jupiter, when we're viewing it, it's expanded. It's such a big planet that it's kind of in the same energy. Like, at one end, you're seeing Eris. At the other end, you're seeing Chiron, which is amplifying those two. So this is getting into our me first energy, which is an Aries energy. Is getting into our intimidating others energy, belittling others energy, push and shove energy, entitlement energy. And like I said, your consciousness and your eyes are being dilated, expanded, opening up. Can you see this? Aries is a great place to start something new. It comes up with the wonderful, bright ideas. It's got the fire to bring something new in. But the problem with it is it gets bored with it. If I got to keep working at it, I've got this brand new, wonderful idea, and I'm going to go after this, and I'm going to do this and this and this. But then this and this and this isn't happening fast enough, so you give up on it and you start something new. This is where you end up with too many projects that don't actually come into fruition and become anything because you have too many. Stick with what you are sticking with. Stick with your path right now, because you have a lot of old healing darkness that is coming out, whether it's coming out in mirror energy or not. Remember, Mercury is now in shadow. All right. And it is taking that perspective of making us see all the things that are no more. Like I have no more room or time or energy to give to this in my life. So it's telling us what to change, because we're going into a new moon, a new eclipse, Aries, starting a new cycle. But this means you've got to be grounded and solid in the cycle you want to start. This isn't, let me come up with this bright idea, but and then you burn out, you got nothing out of it. You're feeling a lot of that right now. That Eris and that Chiron are playing back and forth off of that Jupiter energy, and the sun is directly with it. So it's definitely going into your character. It's definitely going into the way you view the world, how the world views you. Often two separate situations entirely. The way you think the world views you and the way the world actually views you are two different things. Your character, your personality, your point of view, how you're seeing the world, how you, with your own eyes, your own consciousness, are taking that perceiving energy and creating your reality. A lot of this has to do with, again, I've been stating, how much of a product of your own environment are you? Are you the change in the environment? Are you a product of the environment? A lot of this is going to be coming out as we go through this next month. Now, you have Venus, which is moved in, or I believe tomorrow, Venus moves into Gemini. Technically, all of this energy is going into the throat and the heart energy. I'm going to do that when I go into the blueprint here in a minute. Vista, which are the keys to the knowledge, the keys to the door, the keys to making the change, is moving out of Aries and into Taurus. But it's not doing it to the last day of this week. Okay? I'm just letting you know where we're at. You have that new moon and that eclipse, which is coming in next week on the 20th. And like I said, Mercury is in shadow. But as I get into the blueprint, now I didn't go over Aries and Taurus because those are just freaking loaded houses in general. You have Eris, you have Chiron, you have Jupiter, you have Vista up until the last day of the week, and you have the sun, which is all in the headspace. Literally, the third eye, the crown, the headspace, the way the brain acts, the way the brain, computes all of the energy, whether you are energy, the knowledge, what you see, what you hear, what you view, your motor skills, is an extra amplification of, like I said, Eris or Chiron. The wounded healer seeing the wounds that need to change and be healed, but actually do something about it because you're willing to do your own shadow work. Or Medusa, trouble, toil, strife, vampire syndrome. Let me just keep holding on to that dead cow, and then I'm going to continue this, because this is the only thing I know. This has a lot to do with what's going into that throat energy. Like I said, Vista at the end of the week. Vista is the keys to the knowledge, to opening up the doors. It's moving out of the head and it's moving into the throat, into your actual speaking energy. But you have Mercury here, which is in shadow. Plus you have Uranus and the North Node and Juno. All right. Juno is the success and the commitment that it takes to make it happen. So this is controlling your emotions, controlling your mouth, controlling what you are hearing, and actually slowing down to hear what is being said to you instead of being emotionally jumping in and putting your 2 cents in and maybe not hearing what was actually said. So this is a little bit of slow down, quiet, hold up, really dot your T's. Dot your I's, cross your T's. Make sure you're getting this right. It's not because of Mercury retrograde or the shadow. It's because the amplification that's coming in this week. You want to make sure that you're not so quick that you more or less shot yourself in the foot. All right? The keys to all of the knowledge of speaking your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, coming into your power, or being the possession of your own power, your own dignity, your own justification, knowledge, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. All of this is coming in at the end of the week when Vista moves in. But like I said, this is about doing our shadow work so that we're launching ourselves into a new beginning. But this has to do with a lot of courage. This has to do with a lot of, I'm sorry, this doesn't serve me anymore, and peace the fuck out. There's going to be some of that relationship grief going on here. Like I said, you're going to see karma coming in left and right. You're seeing the negatives showing themselves to where there's no way you can ignore them anymore. Your throat chakra is your expression. But it's not just expressing your emotions, it's expressing everything that is needed, as well as understanding to hear other people's expressions. But when we move into Gemini is where I'm going to start with the fixed stars, okay? Gemini is going to be moving, you got Venus moving into Gemini. It's going to be going over the trachea, the esophagus, and the respiratory system, okay, this week. It is literally jumping over 2 fixed stars, and these fixed stars during this week is going to amplify that Venus energy. Venus is your sensitivity. People, Venus is not love. I don't know how many times I can say that. I hate astrologers that put it out there that way. Venus is your sensitivity. She speaks to you about your 5 senses. She speaks to you about your emotional energy and how you are sensitive to it. She speaks to how your body in the blueprint is sensitive to what's going on and what's creating the blockages. All right? So the sensitivity is speaking to how you are handling the energy. Now, that sensitivity is being amplified by the fixed stars that is going to be crossing this week, that is loaded with Jupiter energy. Right there's expansion above it. What I get from Spirit is just look at everything as giant energy. And I mean, like giant stars, like the big giant energies, they're known to combine like 3-4 energies and amplify it. So your Venus this entire week is amplified by Jupiter, Saturn, the moon. The moon is your moods and your physical body. Your emotional indifference, physical body, and your moods. Jupiter is expanding on everything. Jupiter is known as a good, positive energy, but Jupiter can only amplify what you feed it. Then you have Saturn. talking about boundaries, 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 boundaries. If you want to see the new life begin, you want to see the new cycle begin, it starts with the flipping boundaries. By opening your mouth and saying, I'm not having this anymore. This is not serving me. I wish you the best, but peace out. And I'm not saying relationships, I'm saying in general, if it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve you. Stop lying to yourself. All of us are getting hit beneath the belt hard on this because we're coming into a new place where we have to be in that right place in order to go where we're going. So there's no more, I feel sorry for you. No. Like I said, Jupiter, Saturn, Moon, amplifying Venus's sensitivity. So sensitivity is off the chain, period. In Gemini, the trachea, the esophagus, and your respiratory system. This is also red flag city for a spiritual flu. For any place that you are not fully healing that emotional energy that you are still carrying around with you, that extra sensitivity that you are still carrying around with you. The respiratory, talking about, having trouble breathing, feeling mucus in the throat, in the chest area, not being able to breathe well. We're talking about spiritual flu energy coming in because it's dealing with chakras and energies that have not been cleansed and cleared. When we go into Cancer, you're literally starting to get into the gastric energy. You're getting into the stomach, all over the place. This is Mars and Pallas. Mars is going to be with fixed stars this week, 2 again, and it's going to be going over another Mars energy with Mercury, as well as Venus and Jupiter. So now you have yin yang plus yang actually amplified in that Mars energy. Then the Mercury, which is in shadow, and Mars. So the inner warrior and the inner entitlement, the inner push and shove, the inner fire, the inner aggression is going to be willing to come out much faster, but it's also going to be all up in the stomach. This is speaking to where Spirit is saying, how much are you trusting your intuition? How much are you trusting your own divine wisdom, your own solar plexus, your own I am energy? And how much are you taking back to your sacral chakra from that I am energy to either amplify it or shut it down? And what I mean by that is we are dealing with relationships, relationship grief. But this is, I say all the time, your inner warrior. I put a lot of times with the sacral chakra. That inner warrior didn't get that strong, secure feeling because it looked in the mirror and thought badly of itself. This is why I always say that inner warrior has a lot to do with that inner belly dancer. If you could be the biggest, fattest sumo wrestler, but if you feel good about you, then good for you. And if you're ready to stretch your shit, then good for you. If you're the skinniest and anorexic looking person, but you feel good about you without lying to yourself about it, then this is starting to strengthen that sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is not just a sexual energy. It's an energy about how you feel about yourself. If you can't look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I love me, then how strong do you think that solar plexus is going to be? How strong is that warrior going to be? Your inner SWAT team. You have to be secure in your own skin. And this is amplifying this week, if that's true. And it's going to be in that gut feeling. How much do you trust yourself? How much do you love yourself? How much do you back yourself up? How much do you believe in your own divine wisdom? Are you doubting yourself? Why? We're trying to get strong and solid and create a good, hard foundation here. So yes, before this eclipse comes in, it's going to shake your world. Not to mention Pallas is Athena, the warrior goddess, with her own warrior strategy. And she is going over 2 fixed stars also, with the Mars, the Moon, and Uranus and Saturn. Again, rules, walls, boundaries, restrictions, or the keys opening for new doors. Uranus standing in your independence, or are you somebody else's possession because you're not claiming your power yet? And again, that Mars energy is the warrior, a wise warrior that is able to sit back, listen, watch them make a fool out of themselves, and then you make, I said it the hell down. Let me show you how the world is. Welcome to reality. Or are you going to lose your mind and get into it? Just like, you know, an apprentice warrior. This is really asking, how secure are you? Are you easily shaken? When we get into Lilith, also, they're reminding me, for many of you, that this is also a time for you to eat the foods that are tummy tamers. Don't be like, for people whose stomach gets upset very easily, this is not the week for all that spicy stuff. This is more of tummy tamer tea week. Settle yourself. Be firm and strong within your own self. Don't give yourself that extra jumping around and shaking it up, because you got enough shaking going on without amplifying it by giving yourself foods that are not going to help you in this area. There are plenty of tummy tamer teas as well. A lot of people like peppermint to help, settle their stomach, because this is a week you're going to want that to be settled. Like I said, we're trying to create a foundation here by finding out where all the breakage is, so that we can get rid of that and seal it up. You have Lilith. Now, Lilith, I keep telling everybody, is in the heart chakra. She is. Because she's in Leo right now. Leo, in general, is the heart itself. It is a life force energy. However, this week, Lilith is sitting on the jugular. This has everything to do with the air you're able to bring into that heart and being able to move it around. Circulation. Not just the heart in general and its force, but the circulation of being able to circulate, get rid of things, correct things. I'm looking at the bigger picture, not just the blueprint here. All right? And it is also on a fixed star, which is Saturn and Mars. You have a lot of Mars energy coming in from these fixed stars. Saturn and Jupiter as well. So amplification, boundaries like nobody's business, and Mars is aggression, power, fire, action. But this all has to do with, where's that sacral chakra and that solar plexus? Where are they? Because if they're whippy, that was them. They literally gave me the trash bag of that old commercial. Wimpy. If it's wimpy, you're going to know that you're being put in that position and what kind of cleaning up you've got to work on. Being wimpy right now is not going to serve you. This is not about being, I've been saying it for, a year now, it seems like. It is not being mean. It is not about being a hard ass. It is about no longer allowing yourself to be being belittled, no longer being naive, no longer being taken advantage of. It's returning ourselves to our power, returning ourselves to our authentic truth, returning ourselves to our soul fire energy. And that means no more wimpy. You are a fire power to be reckoned with, but you have to remember that. Because if you don't believe it, nobody else will either. But like I said, it is the heart chakra. It is the life force energy, but it is literally on the jugular, which also is speaking to us about speaking. Throat chakra. Then you have Ceres, which is on the liver. not Sirius star, Sirius, which is on the liver in Virgo. And it is speaking to you basically, in case you don't know, the liver has a lot to do with regulating the chemicals to remove and create the waste for the bile to be removed from your body. This is what we're talking about. We are removing waste, what no longer serves you. We're cleaning up and keeping what is good, getting rid of what is not. But this is sacral chakra energy. That liver is also ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is in that first house of, guess what? Sometimes we got to have a little bit of me first energy. You can't love you first. Who else do you think's going to? We set the example by how we love ourselves and how we teach the world around us is acceptable to approach us, to speak to us, to deal with us, to love us. As I get into the astrology itself, give me just a second. We do have good energies here. I'm just giving you the blunt truth. Amplification on all of these energies, because they're all sitting with fixed stars, moving over these fixed stars. So you don't have your normal Venus, your normal Mars, your normal energies. They are amplified by energies. All right? You have a water trine. Trines are very good and harmonious energies that are able to make good things happen. Okay? You have Saturn in that 12th house, acknowledging where you're in your comfort zone, where the comfort zone is actually keeping you from growing, where we've been holding on to that Medusa energy, to that Eris energy, vampire energy, where we've been holding on to grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, and we've taught ourselves to deal with it and it's safe when we know damn well it's not. Saturn here is going, okay, I see. And it is speaking with Mars, which is in the 4th house, in the chest energy, speaking directly to your inner emotional security, into your true source vessel energy. This is just your meat suit, but your soul is still contained in here. So the first place of inner emotional security has to be within yourself. Then the security of the home. And this, because it's the 4th house. It's your inner emotional security, but it's also your home. And remembering that you are the home above this being the home. The soul and all the energy, the knowledge and everything is already locked up in here. This is just the 3-dimensional that you still are connected to in auto brain. And where you are on your auto brain breakage and into breaking into your own mainframe and truly taking over your own life. You have, like I said, your Mars, your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, your inner solar plexus, your inner belly dancer, your inner security within yourself is speaking to that Saturn energy of going, no, we're not doing this shit anymore. But it is also speaking to the South Node. Now remember, I told you how Maya is coming into that 8th house. How Maya is the collective consciousness. The South Node is everything you're good at, but it don't serve you. This is the comfort zone, becoming aware of its comfort zone. And what rules, walls, boundaries do we have against these relationships that we've kept that truly are comfort zone relationships? Versus, are they relationships that could really truly bloom and grow and prosper? Masks are off. Like I said the last couple of weeks, the masks, the gloves are off. It is Please sit upright, put your seat in the upright position, put your trays in their upright position. We are not playing games anymore. We are moving forward, and this is definitely time to be grounded and still and in your knowledge and your energy, and see exactly what inventory we're taking, so we know exactly where we're going with this solar eclipse when it comes in on the 20th, and what movement we're making after that. This is a positive energy. It's all there for you to see. It's just, will you? And what will you do with what you see? Because you are the master creator of your own life. And sometimes that sucks, because sometimes we don't realize where we create super shitty. But when we start acknowledging it, we can start to make those changes. You have Lilith, which is in that 5th house, which is speaking to your inner fun zone, your inner creativity, your inner what in the world am I here to enjoy? I'm not just here for a freaking mission. I want to enjoy this freaking mission. I want to enjoy my time here on this planet. So what do I like to do? And am I getting time to be and do what I want? It's okay for you to have some love and to love your situation into making sure that you love your life. This energy from Lilith is talking directly to Chiron, amplified by that Jupiter and the Sun, reminding you, who the fuck are you? And that it's okay to realize who you are. What will you do about that? Product of your environment, or are you the change that's happening in the environment? You have Venus, which is also talking directly with Pluto. Pluto is in that 11th house. This is Aquarius energy. This is making new changes, stepping into a bright new tomorrow. But it is also speaking to you about your groups and your memberships have everything to do with where your goals, your dreams, and ambitions go. Product of your environment. Venus and her sensitivity going into that 3rd house in the communication zone, which is also dealing with the heart chakra and the chest energy, and literally the respiratory spiritual flu. How much are you putting on yourself? How much are you putting on your own plate over and over again? And before you're like, I can't even find, like I say when I use make, it's the lotus flower. Are you just filling your plate so full that you're like in the swamp and you can't see anything but the swamp? Take those right back to that Lilith energy. It's okay to love you and to want to do things for you. Venus's sensitivity here is going to be speaking to you with all that amplified energy that's there. What is it? It's got Jupiter, Saturn, and the moon into trying new things, taking new things, communicating in new ways, realizing what the sensitivity is going, this doesn't work for me anymore. But not freaking out, but realizing I have to do something. In a positive way, this is saying with Pluto here, though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You can't lose if you try. You just have to be willing to try. Even if you fall down, you can get up and still continue to walk forward and find what's the right way of going about it. These are positive energies. I'm just helping you to see through it. You have a bunch of sextile energy, which some are the small sextiles, some are the big sextiles. I just see it the way I see it. And you have Mars. Like I said, Mars energy is all over this week. Mars energy is talking directly with Lilith, which is also talking directly with Mercury. But again, Mercury's in shadow in that 2nd house in the throat chakra with Uranus and the North Node trying to teach you everything you need to know about being your own independent individual, your own soul flame, without feeling like you have to push and shove or be a tiger trying to get out of a cage, just by being you. I am. And that's all I have to be. But what am I? Speaking directly with that inner soul fire of that creativity. What do you want to be? Where do you want to take it? How do you want it to be? And Mars, your inner emotional security. This is love thyself. Believe in thyself. Walk yourself through and into thyself. Finding that security, building that security. No longer feeling rejected or afraid of what could happen because you took the chance and open up the door into this bright new tomorrow, starting to actually build into where the next direction is going to take us. Like I said, the eclipse energy is going to shake up a lot, but it can be a very good shake. You have Venus, which is speaking to Neptune, which is speaking to Pluto. That's your communication, extra sensitive, but coming out. Speaking to Neptune, the ability to create a brand new story or stay in the story it's always known. Grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, and let me talk myself into it's a comfort zone. But it's speaking to Pluto. So I walk through the shadow of death. You have nothing to fear. You cannot lose the vessel. Unless you misplace yourself. This is just, we're going back and we're picking ourselves back up. Patting ourselves on the back. We're dusting off our cheeks and our knees. We are rising. So this is a very positive energy of coming back into creating the correct soul tribe, product of your environment again. Is the tribe supporting you going in the right direction? Or are they kind of product of your environment keeping you in that low place because everybody else believes in it? Your goals, dreams, ambitions. Spirit's reminding me again, like the last couple weeks, they keep giving me, I don't want to hear it. You've had all those different stars, all those different people that you've looked up to, and famous, not famous, however you want to look at it, whether it was a musician, whether it was an athlete, whether it was an actor that came from the freaking hood and found working hard and staying the changing person as that product of the environment, not the one who followed the product of the environment, got themselves up and out of it and made those changes. This is how far are you willing to go to get where you want to get? Got to keep walking that walk. It's there, it's possible, but you've got to do it. This is Juno and Uranus are coming together this week as well. And Juno is the commitment to your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom. It is talking with Chiron, which is being amplified by Jupiter and the sign, and knowing exactly who you are. Standing in that power. Not being belittled. Not being naive or falling for this stuff. The energy is there for you to feel strong and good and breathe it in. It's just up to you to remember to breathe it in and not get caught up on that shit that's going to try to twist you down. That shaking. Allow it to shake everybody else. If you're in your power, you'll watch the world shake. But it won't shake where you're at. You've got the North Node, which is learning how to be in your power correctly. In that Taurus energy, with Uranus and Juno, sacrificing commitment, independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, in the throat chakra, in the second house, how you manifest, understanding how to master this properly is the North Node, so that you can move forward. Getting through this. We're almost done here. Uranus is, the North Node is shortly to move into where these eclipses are going to take place. So this lesson's almost done. Have you learned to get in your power? And it is speaking with Saturn, going, oh yes, I have been in my power. I know how to cut that shit right there, da-da-da-da-da. We're kung fu it. What is that cartoon? Like kung fu cartoon. If you're as old as me, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's kung fu-y or something. But that's what I'm getting right now. If you're in that power, it's such a chop. Learning how to not allow that to be part of that 12th house anymore. Not allowing it to be grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, comfort zone that does not serve me. This is about standing in your power, standing in your authenticity, standing in your creative manifestation by believing in yourself, creating a strong foundation. Nope. Will not put up with this. Peace out. All of these have been very positive energies. I'm just helping you to see how to see them. Then you have some unpredictable energies. And unpredictable, I don't see astrology the way a lot of astrologers do. I deal with spirit the way I see it. Some are your normal aspects. Some, like these unpredictable ones, are not normal that most people speak about. I don't always see them the way that others do because spirit points it out. You have the South Node, which is very unpredictably talking to the north, to Neptune. The South Node is that comfort zone. It has not gotten together with Haumea yet. So there is still the comfort zone and there still is the consciousness. They're coming closer together, having no chance but to see everything, but they're not together yet. So that Neptune, the spark of your magic, still has the opportunity to create new or to create a new life. Neptune is funny that way. It's where fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. It's illusion and delusion. I can tell you this and make you feel good even though it's not serving you at all. Or I can truly step you out and into your power and create something new. This is the unpredictable part. What is your free will here? And are you taking control of your free will here? That's why it's the unpredictable part. You have Uranus and Juno, again, the keys to your independence, individuality, freedom, uniqueness, personal power over your own life, your vessel, you. And it is speaking with Saturn. Will you set the boundaries or not? Saturn's in that 12th house too. So, like I said, boundaries are all over this week. You have Venus, which is unpredictably speaking to the South Node, which then, again, is speaking to the North Node. I mean, to the Neptune energy. So, will you get crushed by the sensitivity and give up? And be like, I just want to feel better right now, even though you're not really making the change? Or will you hold out? We're in the big game now. Time to put on your big girl panties. Or for you, Ben, you get my point. We have some challenges this week, and these challenges are not easy. You had, for the last 2 weeks, it has not been a grand square or a grand cross. That is be way more challenging. It's very similar. You've had the North Node, the South Node, Pluto, and Lilith all communicating, meaning they cannot agree on how to come up with a good, healthy answer. That's what that means. They cannot agree on how to come up with a good, healthy answer. The North Node is trying to teach you everything that you're learning as you move forward. The South Node is everything you've learned, but it doesn't help you anymore. It's talking about rebirthing. It's talking about coming back into our power. These two are. And where is the relationships we keep a product of the environment we keep helping serve us or keeping us from moving forward? These two specifically are talking to Pluto, which again is product of the environment, but believing in the goals, dreams, and ambitions. Is this your tribe or not? And it's all going to be shown by that 5th house with Lilith, which is some me first energy. But like I said, it's not about being here to stay the course. It's not about being here to do the job you were sent back here for. It's about what the hell do you enjoy about being here? And are you enjoying any of it? Do you get to do and live the life you want? Are you getting to go after those things that you enjoy? Yes or no? It's that simple. Then we start looking at the tribe, and is the tribe truly supportive or not? And how are we communicating? Is it possible to make the tribe serve, or are you in the wrong tribe? It's really what it comes down to. You have the Sun and Saturn, which are not getting along. Again, Saturn's in that 12th house. But I'm comfortable here. I at least know what I got here. But the Sun's like, really? 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 Is that who you are? Comfortable with what you got? Eclipse coming in this energy. Aries. Aries fights back. Aries has a loud mouth. Aries is a fire energy. Aries is explosive. Sun and Saturn are not getting along. Like I say, are you comfortable here? Really? You've got Chiron, Venus, and Saturn, which are making a very powerful challenge. Very sensitive energy in the throat, in the heart chakra for one, in our chest energy, our breathing energy, our respiratory system, our esophagus, trachea, all of this. It's speaking to Chiron in the head, amplified by Jupiter and the Sun and Eris. Are you going to hold on to the old or see where the old kept you from moving forward? Touching to the sensitivity of let's trial and error something new, because it's all up close and personal now. And are you going to stay in that comfort zone or not? It's all cycle begin, cycle begin, cycle begin. It's the alpha and the beta. The beginning and the end, the beginning and the end, the beginning. Are you going to start? Or will the sensitivity throw you off? All you got to do is set the boundaries. You have Lilith, which is not getting along with Taurus this week. That heart energy, your creative energy, your enjoying energy, your life force. I want to be on this planet and continue to live my life energy is not getting along with anything in Taurus. Mercury, Uranus, Juno. Self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Feeling liberated or feeling taken advantage of. Feeling pushed around or feeling in your power? Are you going to let others dictate how to live your life and how your life will be? Right down to, I always say people would get pissed off at me at my old job. My old job, I worked at the commissary for a long time. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know this. And they would always get mad at me because they would be like, how come you get away with everything? Because I say what I will and will not do. I will not let my bosses come in and just be like, guess what? Drop your life. I need you. No. No. It's your life. I don't mean it just in a work environment. I'm saying, how much will you allow the world to tell you how your life will be versus will you take control? I'm not going to get this chance to enjoy my life again. I'm not going to get this chance to do these things again. Time is precious. How much of it are you giving away? You have Lilith also, who's not getting along with Neptune. The magic of believing in yourself and starting something new, or believing that the world is going to just keep pulling you and pulling you and pulling you, and the things you really want doesn't matter because you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to. The only thing you have to do is live, breathe, die. Live, breathe, eat, die. Maybe pee, shit, you know what I'm saying. But other than that, no. And then you have that South Node. Still the comfort zone of, ooh, this is where the world makes its changes. It's life, birth, life, death, and rebirth. Growing in general, spiritually, psychically, in relationships, in yourself, on every dimension. Birth, death, rebirth. Seeing the stories of the world that you were lied to about versus the truth, coming into your true psychic self, higher dimensional energies. And it's not getting along with that Mercury in that second house. Are you in possession of you? Or are they in possession of you? Will you allow it to be a dog-eat-dog world? Or will you just stand back and take your power back and watch them beat each other up? Because you're the only one who can change your life. I love you guys. I will see you next week.